Now, I want to start off with something that I said last week. I took a little pot shot at Hillary Clinton's book. Now, I haven't said much since the election, but I also haven't been sulking in the forests of upstate New York or profiting off my loss by hawking an insipid political memoir. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I said that last week, I hadn't even actually read the book. When it came out earlier in the year, I watched every interview, I watched every news story about it. I had my intern printing off tweets from reporters about it. But even though I want to know what my opponent had to say about the race, I can't afford to give that grandma $30. I mean, all my money's tied up in the Human Party, and she's got enough money from giving speeches anyway. But I digress. I got Mother Clinton's book off the stack at the used bookstore, and I gotta tell you, I was blown away. All these edutainers I'd been trusting to report the bombshells didn't even mention the most amazing part of the book. Probably the most amazing part of this whole fiasco going all the way back to 2015. Now, if you got a copy at home for some reason, flip to page 240.
We need to be thinking outside the box because the challenges we face are only getting bigger and more complex. Climate change is one example. Another is the long-term effects of automation and artificial intelligence, both on employment and national security. Bear with me here because I have a lot to say about this. Over the past few years, I've had a series of alarming conversations with leading technologists in Silicon Valley who warn that this could be the first great technological revolution that ends up displacing more jobs than it creates. The impact of trade on our manufacturing industry received a lot more attention during the campaign, but many economists say that advances in technology actually have displaced far more jobs than trade in recent decades. For instance, between 1962 and 2005, about 400,000 steelworker jobs disappeared. Competition from steel made in China and other countries was part of the problem. But technological innovation and automation were the bigger culprits. They allowed manufacturers to produce the same amount of steel with fewer and fewer workers at lower costs. The arrival of self-driving cars could displace millions of truckers and taxi drivers. Some economists estimate that automation could put a third of all American men aged 25 to 54 out of work by 2050. Even if we manage to create new industries and new categories of jobs to replace those we've lost, the speed and breadth of the changes we're facing will be destabilizing for millions of people. There's another angle to consider as well. Technologists like Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and Bill Gates, and physicists like Stephen Hawking have warned that artificial intelligence could one day pose an existential security threat. Musk has called it the greatest risk we face as a civilization. Think about it. Have you ever seen a movie where the machines start thinking for themselves that ends well? Every time I went out to Silicon Valley during the campaign, I came home more alarmed about this. My staff lived in fear that I'd start talking about the rise of the robots in some Iowa town hall. Maybe I should have. In any case, policymakers need to keep up with technology as it races ahead, instead of always playing catch-up.
Frankly, I'm honored she's such a fan. I mean, she's quoting me almost word for word. If she'd been talking like this during the campaign, I might have stood down. Hell, I might have even voted for her. No one else seems the least bit concerned about the rise of the robots, not even the tinfoil-hatted xenophobes like Louis Gohmert and Adam Schiff. I guess it ended up okay in the end. If it wasn't for Hillary Clinton's staunch refusal to allow her human self out, the Human Party might have never been born.
This is an odd question that I lobbied for a lot because it's one of my favorite questions to ask people. If you don't have an answer, that's fine, but I will be a little sad.
Okay, Tracy, Jesus.
What's the weirdest thing about you?
The weirdest thing about me is that I don't sweat.
Yes,
Obviously.
best theory for Hillary's a robot, zero sweat.
See, you guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being. I was constructed in a garage in Palo Alto
This
a very
explains
long
a
time
lot.
ago.
Tell us
People
more.
think that, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they created
They
it.
don't even know.
Oh, no. I mean, a man whose name shall remain nameless created me in his garage.
Are there more of you?
Now, I thought he threw away the plans. At least that's what he told me when he programmed me, that there would be no more. I've seen more people that kind of don't sweat and other things that make me think maybe they are part of the new race that he has created, the robot race.
So there's a cyborg
But
army.
I don't,
is what
you
you're
got to
saying.
cut that. You can't tell anybody this. I don't want anybody to know this. I mean, this
No
has
one
been
will
a
hear this.
secret until here we are in Davenport, Iowa, and I'm just spilling my, electronic guts to you.
And without any bourbon. This is
Without any
amazing.
bourbon, yeah.
We must
That's why
be
I have
that
to
good.
wait till the end of the day.